If I had known for just one moment you'd be gone. It's not okay. We weren't alone. Lost in your eyes, Paris night skies, both hypnotized.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday, and things are still cold here in the UK, looking at minus temperatures, but we continue. Thankfully it's warm in this room, but I hope that the weather's okay where you guys are. It is going to be warming up here again next week, so they say on the weather forecast, but we will see. And being certainly in this room, it is warmer than out in the studio where we used to do live streams a very long time ago. But that place used to take about 5 years to warm up, and then even when it was warm, it wasn't very warm. So we are warm, we are fine, and we are live streaming again. Hello guys in the live chat room. And I did see somebody say something like, it's weird to see an acoustic guitar and hear electric guitar. And from that first video, that's my song called Paris Nord, but it's the album version of the song. And in order to just give it a video, because I didn't have a video for that song, I used the live acoustic version as the video for that, and then cut it together so that it's synced up and all that kind of stuff. So I think I have that acoustic version somewhere on this software. Being able to find it is going to be another thing entirely, but that's why the video is me playing an acoustic guitar, because I did the live version. Just needed a video for it. Rather than looking at a picture, I did a video of just looking at a picture for about, 3 or 4 minutes, and I didn't find that particularly engaging. So, yeah, I did a video for it. But anyway, hello you guys in the live chat room. We have in there PN112, Janice, Billy, Dawn, Miss Jensk1, Bob's in there as well, Cindy, Frank, Pamela, Barbara, Chandra of the North, 123 Rockchild, Dawn, Maria, Billy again, Dee Dee, and Julesy in there as well, Bernadine Jones, Eric, Laurie, Kathy, Debbie, hello, thank you for joining me tonight. And just before we jump into the usual festivities of the live stream, just a couple of things to address. At the end of the last live stream, Orlando donated $5, and that came through after we'd finished. He donated right at the end, and it didn't come through in time. So just to mention that. And there was another donation that came in from William over on PayPal, and that was after the live stream as well. And that said, happy holidays. I think that was after the last live stream. It might have made it into the last live stream. I can't remember. But just to address those in case I did miss that one from William as well. I know that I missed the one from Orlando because I wasn't on screen anymore. So let's get everything up on screen as we normally do. And let's first of all get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. So a huge thank you to these lovely people. You know who you are. As I always say, they're the foundation of everything that I do and allow everything to happen. Oh, there's a message. Hi, Phil. The one is instead of an I. So it's Jensky. Okay, so Miss Jensky isn't Miss Jensk1. Miss Jensky. So thank you for letting me know in the live chat room. And let's get this likes goal up on screen because I think this is maybe one that's going to take a live stream or 2, maybe 3 to hit before we get there. Maybe we're aiming for 380 likes tonight. So that is a huge total. And yeah, especially for a Tuesday night, we did hit 375 after 2 attempts last time. So we're going to try and find 5 more people from somewhere. So if you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated to get us close to the target to then have a Phil Jam. And it is Phil Jam number 63 tonight. I think I did update that. It was number 62 last time. Just looking over here to Joe's message, it does say number 63. Clean sound, Strat, has an ending, smooth, mellow. So, a bit of a preview for tonight's Phil Jam. We're going to be playing clean on the Strat, so nowhere to hide. We will see. That's if we do hit the target of 380, so we'll try and get a bump or lots of thumbs up. We've had a bump of the message. That's something that Joe puts at the top of his messages, just saying bump for number 63, meaning that the message is now at the top of the list in my inbox so that it's easier to find. But a spike of the likes would be great as well. So yeah, if you guys could hit that thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. So this is something, actually that's my phone making a noise in the background, and this is what I thought that I could do is I could actually, maybe thinking it's not a very good idea, but I was thinking that if there's a problem with the live stream and it pauses or it's not loading or something, and maybe like before, I haven't even had the microphone on and I've been playing guitar and you haven't been able to hear it, maybe if I left my phone on and then got a message maybe from the moderators, that's something that I can look at doing maybe in the future. But we'll obviously I haven't organised that for tonight, so it doesn't really matter. But maybe it's not a good idea because I think my phone's going to be making lots of noises. If I have it still on, it means that I'm going to get noises for every email and every comment and everything that comes through. So yeah, I've just turned it down so that hopefully it won't be going off all the time. But yeah, I'm going to have to figure out a way. I should probably look at the right hand side of the screen a little bit more to watch for the adverts, but also to watch for any loading going on or any loss of connection. Generally, it seems to be fine with the live streams, and sometimes it's just YouTube that loses the connection, but then my software says it's all fine. At the moment, we are at excellent connection. I can see in there that we've had a donation from Val, so thank you for that, Val. It is a straight up donation of £5. So thank you. And as I always say, you don't have to donate. Just watching is fantastic. Maybe leaving a thumbs up. Introduce yourself into the live chat room. If you do join in with these live streams, because that's how we roll, we get to know each other. Introduce yourself to everybody in that live chat room. If you are a Facebook user, you can head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. Join in with that group, and there's the after party after the live streams that's hosted by Bob. Over there, there's also occasional Zoom calls or Skype calls, those kinds of things, which we sometimes get a screenshot of, and I show them on the live streams. The other things that I show are pictures from you guys. That's also the page where you can upload pictures of any merchandise that you may have, if you want to model it or just take a picture of the merchandise. We do have one picture for tonight in Picture Corner, and I've got to remember to do that. I almost forgot last time because we were jumping straight into the Phil Jam because we hit the target and we're all very excited to do that. But we have to remember this time that there's a Picture Corner. So getting into the live stream, I think I've got everything up on screen that needs to be on screen. It looks a little bit bare. Oh, the lycometer, that's it. I was going to say the screen looks a bit bare, and that's why we don't have the lycometer up on screen. We are at 230 likes, so pretty good. If you guys can hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And it means we were looking for what, 150? Maybe 149 now. Again, we always get the maths out of the way, and I'm just going to stick with that number, whatever it was. That's that number out of the way, and we're going to move on. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that lycometer. 2, 3, 4. We always like a bit of a sequence going on with that lycometer. Always seems to pop out when there's a sequence going on. But let me mention as well, thank you guys over on Patreon for requesting Paris Nord to open with for tonight's live stream. If you guys want to check out any of my music, including that song of mine, you can head over to wingsofpegasus.com, which looks like that. And if you want to go straight to the music part, you can do a /music. So there we go. Let's get rid of that. Right, little bits of news, or a little bit of news. I know that recently I've mentioned about doing the second video, even though the first video did get cut up into maybe 2 or 3 videos, I can't remember. But it was myself and Shirley Lewis just analysing, having a look at herself and George Michael singing together, obviously analysing George's voice as well. And we are going to do a second version of that with her singing with George on Freedom, because that's just Shirley and George on that particular recording. So we will be doing that probably, actually, really next year sometime. Maybe next month. It's just something that we have been talking. I've spoken to her over the last couple of days, and it's such a busy time of year that, I mean, I'm trying to sort out taxes and things, because that's got to be done by the end of January, and I want to make sure that it's not all a rush and that it's all organised. And then there's Christmas presents, getting everything organised. So yeah, we're both having a very busy time at the moment. So we will find some time for that early next year. Obviously, I'll keep you guys in the loop about that over on patreon.com and patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus if you want the full page that if you want to type it in, you can go to. And you can become a free member over there now. That's something that's going on. So I have seen some people signing up for that. So thank you guys for doing that. And I do occasionally do some posts like the live streams, for example. I make those public over there. So you don't have to go searching around for them on YouTube. You'll be able to see a post on Patreon that is the live stream in its entirety. I kind of upload a link there so you can watch it all the way through if you want to over on patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. So there you go. And today I was also chatting with Buck Dharma, and we do try to stay in touch with each other. And Buck has actually had to cancel a couple of shows recently. He's been a bit under the weather. So yeah, just wishing him a speedy recovery. And it was actually pneumonia that Buck has been suffering with recently, but he does think that he'll be okay within a couple of weeks. So fingers crossed for that. Big shout out to Buck, and he's a friend of the channel. He's been on the channel with me, I don't know, a couple of times, a few times. I can't remember how many times, but yeah, it's I mean, he's just always touring, and this is the thing about Blue Oyster Cult as well. They're just kind of on the road all the time, and I think over Christmas he's going to have a little bit of time off, but obviously he's had some time off due to illness. But yeah, the tour's called the Forever Tour, so I did say to him that they're definitely living up to the name of the tour, because they're just constantly on the go. But yeah, hopefully everything will be okay for Buck, and they'll recover and then get back out there. But hopefully he'll have a bit of time, family time as well over Christmas, which I'm sure he will. So anyway, we will jump into the donations that have happened over on PayPal. So thank you guys for those. And it's very important, I think, to mention that through the super chat window on YouTube, between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube. And through the PayPal link and through PayPal, between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal. So if you are making a donation, you don't have to. But if you are making a donation, I think it's important that you know exactly where your money's going. So those are the percentages. And actually, let me just click on this, because before I jump into the PayPal donations, I'm going to remember to have a plug of the mug. And here it is. I always forget to talk about merchandise and stuff, but there's the plug of the mug. If you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, click on the link in the description below, or the tray underneath this video, but the link in the description below will take you through to the spring.com store, and then you can get your hands on a mug, tumbler, cap, hoodie, t-shirt, all of that cool stuff. So yeah, look out for the merchandise. Let me move this so I can actually read what is going on. And I just want to make sure actually that I haven't missed any from the donation that I missed last time. And it is Steve who has donated £5, and this was at 32 minutes past 3 this afternoon. So thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, do you have any favourite movie soundtracks? Do you prefer dedicated ones like the ones by a John Williams or Ennio Morricone? Or do you like music montages like in a Quentin Tarantino movie or American Graffiti? So thank you for that, Steve. And I mean, generally with movie soundtracks, I mean, I'm not really into them a lot, but there are particular ones that I do like. I mean, John Williams, I think I have mentioned him previously in live streams, that I mean, pretty much everything that he does is just spot on. It's just exactly how it needs to sound. And being a fan of Steven Spielberg movies, obviously I've heard my fair amount of John Williams compositions and movie soundtracks. I'd say probably Jurassic Park has got to be way up there for me. Star Wars and Superman. I like the way that Superman is basically Star Wars. And you can start to see these things that, are just parts of John Williams' writing style, the way that he kind of goes from one section to the next section to the next section. So it's really interesting to listen to. But having said that, for every movie, he pretty much, really changes the whole feel of it, even though sometimes melodically and compositionally there are things that are similar. But what do I think of? Maybe Harry Potter. That's I'm pretty sure that was John Williams, because that's again a totally different feel to Superman, for example. It's putting the emotion and the feel into what you are writing and what he's writing that just goes so well with the movie. Indiana Jones, there's another one for you. So, like I said, I have seen a lot of Spielberg movies, but not that Harry Potter's one of those. But I mean, with Indiana Jones and capturing the even that is so difficult to, if you were trying to place that emotion or that feeling around an explorer and everything that's going on. But again, he just absolutely nails it every time. So yeah, same thing with Star Wars, just great. So yeah, big fan of John Williams. And I'm trying to think of any others off the top of my head that jump out at me. I think pretty much with movie soundtracks, I tend to have a very specific kind of area in the 80s, because I think a lot of the 80s movies just had great soundtracks on them. Like when you go back and you even listening to, about to have an advert, so let me skip that. But yeah, even going back to movies, like Ghostbusters, I mean, the whole movie, obviously the whole soundtrack is great, but you have songs within the movie that, because I'm a fan of 80s music anyway, it's just great. Like the soundtrack with the songs that are chosen, like, Top Gun, for example. You've got so many really cool, songs and themes in there. Shout out to Steve Stevens, who's a friend of the channel as well, who's joined me on here to talk about the Top Gun theme. And, having electric guitar and all that kind of stuff, lead guitar, electric guitar being at the forefront, I really love that kind of thing. Obviously being a fan of the 80s and a guitarist myself. So I am a big fan of 80s movies because of the overall soundtracks, just the songs that were included as part of the movie. When you then would go and buy that particular album of the movie, you got some really cool tracks on there. So yes, I think with movies, I'm always listening out for the soundtrack and the sound going on. But it's pretty much always, when you're talking about the top composers, it's always where it needs to be. You'll very, very rarely find a movie, especially a big budget movie, that has bad sound. It's generally all just, top level. And it's something that if it's not right, then it stands out like a sore thumb. I do say that I think personally it can make or break a movie having just sound that isn't quite in the right place. It needs to be spot on. And I know that other people say, it's 60 or 70% of the movie, but I think it's even more than that, because if you've got sounds and a soundtrack that isn't capturing the emotion of a particular scene, and it's almost the opposite, and having that contradiction musically with what you're seeing just wouldn't work. So yeah, a huge part of movies, in my opinion, the sound and just placing it exactly where it needs to be. And that's something that John Williams just has down for every single movie, it seems, certainly that I've seen, where he's been the one in charge of the sound and the compositions. So thank you for that, Steve. And Tammy has donated £10 as well, so thank you for that, Tammy. And that is a straight up donation, so thank you for that. And Debbie has donated £10. Thank you for that, Debbie. And the message is: hi Phil, glad your Christmas shopping is going well. What are your favourite Christmas carols / songs? You're awesome, love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And in terms of carols, I'm not really sure I have favourite ones. I don't really sing them myself. Maybe there are some I know maybe in Home Alone, there are some carols that they sing in that, and I probably know them, but I don't know what they're called. So Christmas songs, there always seems to be the same, well, there always are just the same songs that come out at Christmas. If you're going to write a hit, write a Christmas hit, because then you're going to get those royalties every year without fail. So I know this probably varies from one country to the other, but the ones that we have here that always come out, or at least if I can think of a few, Last Christmas by Wham. Obviously, I say obviously, it's probably different in different places, but that's got to be mostly all around the world. All I Want for Christmas, that's Mariah Carey, who did that one. That one comes out as well. Wizard, is that the band Wizard? What's the song? I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. That might be the title, I'm not sure. I know the song, but that's 3. And there's Slade as well, who always played. And is that just called It's Christmas? That's what Noddy Holder just shouts out, It's Christmas. So I'm going to go with that. But they're always the same songs that come out at Christmas time. And it's just always the same playlist. So I know that I'm missing loads of them out. But yeah, generally, whenever you're out and about, it'll always be the same songs that are going to be on the playlist. And it's rare that you get any new song that makes it into that playlist, because it's almost like you need that recognition. And when we're talking about these songs, the fact that, you know, they're out, in the 80s? Certainly. So it means that for the 80s and the 90s and the noughties and then the teenies, I don't know what you call those, but then getting into the 20s, it means that you've had 40 years worth potentially of Christmases that you associate with those songs. So that's what it's all about. It's about, you know, bringing back memories and you thinking of the things that were happening when you heard those songs. When you've got a new song that's been released at Christmas, you've got no memories really to put with that. It takes quite a long time for Christmas songs to take off and then be part of the playlist. So yeah, that's something. I mean, certainly in our house, my dad puts on Nat King Cole, so I've mentioned that in the analysis video, that's the sound of Christmas to me. And maybe Michael Bublé as well, but not so much. I'd say more kind of old school, you know, Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole and that kind of thing, rather than more of the modern crooner or crooners. So yeah, those are the sounds of Christmas to me, but I think generally those few that I mentioned are always being played at some point, either on the radio or in and around shopping centres, all that kind of stuff. So thank you for that, Debbie. And we've had another donation from Kathleen for £10. So thank you for that, Kathleen. And the message is, hi Phil, can you give us an update on your arm? Are you back to working out yet? How do you envision your workout regimen changing as you move forward? Thanks, Kathy. So thank you for that, Kathy. And that's just reminded me of the word regimen. Did I mention this? I might have already mentioned this on a previous live stream, but there's the regimen, which is like, for me, I class it as if you're washing your face or something and then you put on cream, or you wash your hair and you put gel in your hair or something, then you'd have a regimen that you're doing. But now people are saying regime. And for me, the first thing I think of when I think of a regime is something military, that, like it's a regime, Yeah, I don't know why, but I looked this up on the internet and it seems like with the younger generation, they associate regime with washing your face or doing something, because there was an advert for an anti-aging cream or something, and the woman on there said, this cream is now part of my regime. And I don't know why I find it quite funny, because then I imagine that she's starting some kind of army and that she's going to like attempt a coup or something, because she's got a regime. So yeah, this is something I did look it up, and I think that the meaning of regimen and regime are now two of the same thing. But yeah, whenever I read it used what my ears or my brain takes as incorrectly, this is why when I spot regimen, my brain says, yes, that is correct. That's the correct word for a workout regimen. So anyway, yes, getting back to it, that was maybe a slight bit of... Woodward English says regime, a government, especially an authoritarian one, says the English teacher. So there we go. Probably someone a lot more qualified than me, but maybe I am thinking of the right thing. That when I think of a regime, that is a definition that, for some reason, I've heard people using it incorrectly, and that was part of either L'Oreal or something, a very well-known makeup brand that were, saying about their regime. So, yeah, not sure. Anyway, going back to my arm. With my arm, I think maybe last week I did a very light workout, and I think I started with like 7.5 kilograms. Then I realized, yeah, that's a little bit too heavy for my arm to start out with. So I then just did, I think maybe 5.5 kilos of just some bicep curls. I just did a few sets of that, and it wasn't too bad. I think a couple of days after, I then, felt what always tends to happen with my arm, a bit of tightness, but the tightness is just the nerve being in slightly the wrong place. And then after that, it felt a lot better. And now it's feeling quite good, but I think what I'm probably more likely to do is start doing something that's very light intensity, such as golf, which I'd like to get back to playing golf. And golf is something that, I used to enjoy playing a lot, and I used to practice quite a lot as well. Well, I say practice, just swinging the club. So just trying to do a repeatable, consistent swing. So that's something that I do, not even necessarily hitting a ball, but just doing something very light like that, I would enjoy doing. And I think it's getting to the point where I might be able to do that. In terms of, doing a workout, I mean, it's good that I have done that workout with just 5 kilos, and it wasn't just an absolute nightmare and then set me back and my arm really hurt or anything like that. So I think it's at the point now where I can work out, but I think it's also the self-diagnosis that I'm pretty sure that it's just a nerve that gets into the wrong place, because on some days it can feel really good, and then I can do a particular movement where I now feel it in my arm, and that same movement keeps on kind of sort of like pressing. You kind of get a little bit of pain that's coming through, then you move your arm, it's fine. Move your arm, a little bit of pain, move your arm, and then when I do these bicep curls, it's always either the bicep curl going straight up or doing a hammer curl. One of those positions, I'll be able to feel where the nerve is trapped. So and generally when I turn my hand counterclockwise, the way that I'm looking, when I do that, I can then extend my arm without any problems. But then if I try to extend my arm without doing that, that's where the nerve gets caught, and I have to do that in order to then make my arm go straight again. So it's definitely a nerve thing, I think. But fingers crossed. I think what I'm going to do is just take it relatively easy over Christmas, and then in the new year maybe start working out, or maybe just doing a little bit of swinging, because that's just swinging the golf club is just not like lifting 5 kilos over and over and over again. So I'll probably just take it lightly like that to begin with, and then hopefully just continue on with the working out and gradually do maybe once a week as I would normally do, on biceps, and then maybe get into triceps and chest, and build everything back up from there. So thank you for that, Kathleen. So we're still on the road to recovery, but it is a hell of a lot better than it was, because before I just literally couldn't really do anything with it, whereas now even to do a workout of sorts is a very good sign, I think. But thank you for that. Nicole has donated £20 and 39 pence as well, so thank you for that, Nicole. And the message is, Phil, for you, quickly send all my love from France. So thank you for that, Nicole. Right, now quick spike of the likes, if that is possible. We are at 303, which means we're looking for 77 more people to get involved. Hit that thumbs up, and if we do hit the thumbs up target for tonight, or the likes goal as it's also called, it means that we're going to be having Phil Jam number 63, and whatever it is, it's going to be a clean Fender Strat attempt, says Joe over on Patreon. So we will look out for that. Keep an eye on that likeometer. So 75 more people, and we still have a bit of time left, closing in on 20 to midnight here in the UK. And there it is. That's something that they do on the news all the time. Like, they tell you what the time is, but I think most people know what the time is when they're watching the 6 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news. They always say that. They say, you're watching the 10 o'clock news and the time is 5 minutes past 10. And then you think, well, I know because I've been watching the 10 o'clock news for 5 minutes. But another thing that they say, especially on the very early morning BBC news, I mean, this is something that I have in the background when I'm doing messages and stuff, and it's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. They have a BBC News, and sometimes it's from Washington, sometimes it's from London, sometimes it's from Hong Kong, is it maybe? I can't remember whether that's correct or not, but it's somewhere that's very far away from the UK. But the BBC News, they always say on that, they say, actually, they don't say it straight away. They spend ages looking down, and then they look up and they say, you're watching BBC News. And then they look down again, and then they're obviously getting ready for the next story. So again, I think people know that they're watching BBC News, but they're using this obviously to fill in a bit of time, get themselves organised, and maybe for the auto cue thing. This is the other thing about some newsreaders, is especially in the early morning, it's a shift that they get put on, I think, to practice for if they're then going to be on prime time news. So the people that do it in the very early morning, some are really good, and I think there's a woman that does the BBC News in Washington. I think it comes from there, and she's called Sumi. I don't know her second name, but she's very good at doing it. But then you get some people, and I saw somebody trying to do it here in the UK, and they couldn't read the auto cue very well. And obviously, it's going to take a bit of practice, and maybe it's the pressure of them actually being live, even though there's probably only me watching at that time in the morning. But it must be quite nerve-wracking. But then you think, well, you've got to be able to read an auto cue. And yeah, this is the thing. I don't know what would happen with me in an auto cue if I had to read stuff off the screen. I know that it's something that you read off where the camera is, so you can just be reading while you're looking at the camera, and nobody can tell. I say that nobody can tell that you're reading an auto cue. Even on some YouTube videos, I can see people's eyes moving kind of left and right because they're reading the auto cue on whatever video they're doing. And for me, it's a bit off-putting because obviously I don't use... Imagine trying to type out all of this rubbish that I'm talking about. It just wouldn't work. But trying to read an auto cue, I think, first of all, hopefully I wouldn't have any problems with it. But watching somebody's eyes go from right to left, as a viewer, it puts me off when I notice it. So yeah, and it's even worse when you can see the reflection behind the presenter of the auto cue. That's even more off-putting, because then you're just looking at that the whole time and not actually taking in what the presenter's talking about. Anyway, thank you, Stardust Unicorn, who has donated $2.99. Support band to Wings of Pegasus, as I always say. And the message is vibes again. So thank you for that. And, Woodward English is again in the live chat room and says you have to learn to pace yourself with an auto cue /teleprompter. So yeah, the speed that it's going down yeah, it might take a little bit of getting used to, but surely they've got a person who can be controlling that. So all of the words that I'm saying now, I suppose if you needed to put a gap like that in your talking so that it slows down a bit, then you might be able to. Then it'll just start to seem a bit dodgy because you're talking in a really weird way. But that's another thing that you notice when you start watching people on TV. Because of what I do with these live streams, when we're watching a video or when we jump into Picture Corner, on the software, you get a countdown as to how long that is going to display for. So it means that before it then comes back to me talking or on the screen, I have to be ready for the time. So you're looking at the countdown, even though I'm talking at the same time, but you're looking at the countdown to then know when things are going to appear on screen again. Most of the time I'm trying to do it manually, but with videos, for example, they have a countdown once they've started. So you are looking at that and trying to judge exactly when to stop talking or start talking and introducing videos, all that kind of stuff. So in terms of pacing things, I'd like to think that if you had to slow down anything or fill in time, you should be able to do that just by talking. I think I'd be very good at that because I could start talking about anything. These live streams are probably very good for that kind of thing, filling in time, because I could probably fill in a lot of time, especially when I start talking about lots of we've spoken about lots of different things. There's so many topics that I could talk about, and if there were a guest on the show, I'm sure that we could talk about what they do or what they're into, or it could be sports related, it could be music related, it could be aliens related. We could talk about many things for a very long time. But there are some presenters who that they're trying to fill time because they start talking but not really talking in any kind of natural way. And once they've filled in their 10 seconds, they'll say, and we'll see you after the break. And then they'll suddenly say that, and of course it'll go to a break. So it's kind of 10 seconds of not really saying anything, and then suddenly saying, oh, we're going to a break. It's like, oh, yeah, so they were just filling in that 10 seconds. That's why they never actually said anything. And to give an example of that, I was watching some soccer on TV, as we call it here. Well, no, you call it there. We call it football here, but we call it soccer. Some people call it soccer here. When they like rugby, they call it soccer, but we call it football generally. And they call rugby football. So talk about confusing. But anyway, you use your feet to kick the ball, and that's the only thing you're allowed to use other than your head. And you're not allowed to use your arms. But yeah, other parts like your legs and your chest, all that kind of stuff is fine. That's football. That's what we call it here. But anyway, there's a football presenter. And when I say about filling time, he said something like, and here we're just looking at the crowd, and we can see that we've got these pictures here where the crowd that we're looking at the moment, you can see them there, and they've come to watch the game, and we'll see you after the break. And that's literally what it was like. So he was obviously being told to fill like 10 seconds, and he just said something about the crowd, and he didn't say anything about the crowd other than we're looking at the crowd. And then we went to a break. So there's definitely a skill to it. Anyway, let's keep organised with tonight's live stream. We do have a vote, a little bit late in the live stream for me to be mentioning this, but we have a vote for tonight's cover video, and it's between Silence is Broken and Just Got Lucky by Dockham. So, yeah, we have a little bit of what Damn Yankees and Dockham show off tonight. It's not a show off, face off. That's probably a better way to describe it. So yeah, if you guys want to hear either of those two songs, make sure you vote for the one you want to hear, and that may end up being the winner. It is Silence is Broken at the moment, which has 56% of the vote, so it is relatively close, but we will be jumping into that relatively soon. So I can see that we are at 331 likes. We are aiming for a mammoth 380 likes tonight. So we're looking for every single thumbs up we can muster. It means we're looking for 49 maybe 49 more people to hit that thumbs up would be much appreciated if you could do that. And I can see we are at 330 now, makes it a little bit easier to work out. We are looking for 50. 47? Is that? What did I say before? Did I say 49? Maybe I got that wrong. Anyway, I'm going to stick with 47, 46. Lots of maths going on for tonight's live stream, but still quite a few people to get involved. You can hit that thumbs up. That would be great. So, I mean, considering it's almost 10 to midnight here in the UK, maybe we could shoehorn in a request for a video over on Patreon. And, oh, what am I doing here? I've put it under this tab. Here it is. Move this out of the way so that I can read what's going on. And I said I've put it under this tab. I haven't put it under this tab, but I'm going to find it nonetheless. So let's click on that one and see what's been kicking off under this post. Right. Let's see what we've got. Okay, Tammy's requested a Phil tune, the library, but also a Phil jam. And I tell you what, I'll throw this out into... Oh, there's going to be an ad. Let me skip that. Oh, I can see that Jennifer's just donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Jennifer. And the message is, Phil, thank you for being well-spoken. Drives me nuts to hear actors and sorts people continually going, you know, or it's like, you know, or it's like, can't these people talk? Well, take care. So, thank you for that, Jennifer. And I mean, that reminds me of Judge Judy, because it's something that I know Judge Judy certainly doesn't like, is like when people use like too much. Because she says, and it's generally, I think, the younger generation that use like as a filler word, because I don't know why they use like. It's almost like it's a subconscious thing, like. I mean, I'm using like as the word. It's almost like it's something else. So I'm not like using like to fill in like the gaps like between words like. So that's the kind of thing that, yeah, you can hear quite a lot. And I know that, yeah, Judge Judy, she says to some people, try and say a sentence without using the word like. And they say, well, I was like, straight away. And that's actually something that's used quite a lot. When people describe how they were feeling, they say, I was like, and then you say, well, what were you like? A lion? Were you like a cheetah? Were you like a fish? You know, what were you like? No, I was like really disappointed. He said, well, you can't be like a really disappointed, because that's a feeling. It's not a thing. It's not something that you can be like. So, yeah, using like, it's not something that I've done. I think probably, I don't know whether it's like I said, a subconscious thing where it just creeps in and people say it just in amongst their words because it just pops in there like all the time. Like, even though they're like saying things like, it might be something that they're not like even thinking about like. And it's just a word that is, I don't know, a word that they can't control them. Almost like Tourette's, that it just pops out all the time. I don't know. So yeah, it is an interesting one, but certainly something that I notice, I don't know, I think in presenters more, it's really obvious where they're saying, and we're now, and they're doing that all the time. And you think, yeah, why make noises? Can't you just say what you're thinking? Isn't there a way for you to communicate without needing all of that thinking time of using? And this is something that happens on TV, especially live TV. But I think even in other situations, in recorded programs, people use and quite a lot. But yeah, certainly, especially on YouTube where people are doing things live, there's lots of umming and ahhing and things not quite, as you guys know, with these live streams, things not quite working as they should. But I always try to keep things going, even if it's an absolute disaster. and minimize the ums and the ahs and the what's going ons. So yeah, we try to limit those as much as possible. But if you can understand me clearly, then I guess that is the point of presenting. And I do have, I say, a history of presenting. I don't really, but it's the kind of thing that when you've been to college, I used to do presentations about sports science and nutrition and all that kind of stuff. Then I went to university, and again, that's something where there are particular projects that you have to do where you have to present to the rest of the class. And, this can be in like a lecture theatre. So it means, literally a theatre. So you've got, seats that are banked and you have to present to everybody. So that probably helps. Then I was a personal trainer. Actually, I was a personal trainer before I went to university. So you're talking to somebody all the time and you have to explain exactly what you want them to do. And you need to explain it clearly so that they understand. Same thing then when I was teaching guitar, is you have to be as concise as possible for the person to grasp what you're trying to teach them so that they can then just take in that information in such a way that they can digest it and then use their hand to communicate that onto the fretboard. So yeah, there's a lot of thinking and I think rearranging of words so that you're trying to get this as clearly as possible to your student. So you have to really work out the most efficient way of talking and not using lots of words. Because if you're trying to explain something to someone and you're saying, okay, so like what you need to do is so do take your hand and put it do that. It means that you can be talking for about 20 seconds and you haven't given over any information of note for the person who's trying to learn from you. So this is where, if you say, take your third finger on your left hand and place it on the third fret of the second string down as you look at the guitar. All of that you can take in and process, or at least I hope you can. So looking at the guitar, they can look at their left hand, they can take their third finger, they can place it on the third fret of the second string away from them as they look at the guitar, and then they've got to the destination, or they're doing what you want them to do. So yeah, that's something that I think maybe helps with all of this kind of stuff, is talking concisely and explaining things as clearly as possible means that you don't do a lot of umming and erring because you know what you want to say and the way to explain it to people. So anyway, but I have done that for many, many years. So maybe it's helped with this particular live stream. And now, even when I say just a little bit, I'm now starting to notice in myself that I don't think I do it a lot, but maybe I do. Who knows? Anyway, let's get back into the live stream and keeping organised. I did say that we were going to look at something, even though I've been rambling on for another 7 minutes. That's the problem. Once I start talking, I guess it's good. It would be good for live TV if they had to fill a lot of time. They just get me on as a guest, and I could probably fill a few hours. So let's have a little look down here. I think there have been requests for a fill tune. So what we're going to try and do is we will jump into tonight's cover video. Let me bring that to a close. And once we get the result for that, it is Silence is Broken that has 55% of the vote. Which is good. We'll jump into that and then we'll jump into Picture Corner, maybe have a fill tune then. Oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking for 14 more people to hit the thumbs up in order to get ourselves to the fill jam for tonight, number 63. So 14 more likes, then we can have a fill jam. So that's the plan that I've just made up. Cover video, fill tune, fill jam if we hit the target. I hope you guys enjoy this. It was Silence is Broken from memory. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys after. Rock! Hi guys, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and this is my first ever cover video on Patreon. The song is Silence is Broken by Damn Yankees. And thanks everyone for your support, and I hope you liked the video. See you later. Rock.
Never again. You say the words and let the sun shine in again. You can close your eyes and know it's safe inside to sing your lullaby. Broke the chains, and now you won't be silent anymore. Oh no. Now you're gonna shout about it. No, no more. Yeah, yeah, this is the end. The silence is broken now. It's over now. Words have been spoken. With every word you say, you blow away the tears of another time. Face to face, anyone can see you're not the child you were before. You take your place, no one can take away your heart. Oh no, there can be no doubt about it. No, no more. Yeah, yeah, this is the end. Silence is broken now. It's over now. Words have been spoken. With every word you say, you blow away. Never again. Say the words and let the sun shine in again. You can change the world. No one can take away your heart. The silence is broken now. It's over now. The words have been spoken. With every word you say, you blow away the tears of another time. Silence is broken now. It's over now. The words have been spoken. With every word you say, you blow away the scene of another crime.
And there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was my version of Silence is Broken by the Damn Yankees. We are going to be jumping into Picture Corner, and it's going to be a quick Picture Corner for tonight. We just have one picture, I do believe. So let's jump into here. And as for where this is going to appear, who knows? But let's have a look. Okay, it's a little bit wonky off to the side, but that is fine. We can still see the picture, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to grab this to move it across. Oh, I could do it. Look, if I grab that there. Not that you guys can see what I'm doing, but just put it about there. There we go. So this has been sent in by Dawn, so thank you for this, Dawn. And of course it's the Wings of Pegasus mug. The message with this is, it's not the traditional thing to leave for Krampus, but I thought he might enjoy a nice smoky tea for a change, especially if it's in a cool mug. Marry Krampusnaut. So thank you for that, Dawn, and yes, I don't have a clue really what's going on here, but that is the picture for tonight's Picture Corner, just the one tonight. If you guys have any pictures that you want to upload, if you are a Facebook user, you can head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group and join in with that group, upload the picture, and then Laura will link me to the pictures and I can show them on the live stream. So thank you for that, Dawn, and thank you, Laura, as well. So that is Picture Corner for tonight. And it has now stopped, which is good. That's my elevator music of me playing that on the Mugabe guitar in the background there, just in case you were interested. So let's jump into the Phil tune. I think the library was the most requested one over on Patreon, so we will jump into that, and then we'll have the Phil jam afterwards because we have hit the likes goal. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. You can continue to do that. It would be much appreciated. It really does help this live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can still hit that thumbs up. Every thumbs up really does help. So let's jump into another real life story, Phil tune. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys after for the Phil jam. Rock!
Guys, I'm so excited. I have just managed to get us an awesome gig.
Well, I do hope our definition of awesome coincide.
Well, I know a guy who works at a pub and he said we can play there this Friday night.
You know a guy. So far, to be honest, I'm on the fence about this gig. Persuade me. Where is the venue? Will I have heard of it?
The pub is called the Golden Guff. It is in Surrey. My friend has told me it will be amazing. We need this gig.
Well, it certainly sounds like a reputable joint. It's about an hour's drive, but I'm going to trust you on this. Let's book the gig.
We won't regret it. The place will be packed. I can't wait.
Wowzers, this pub really looks like a library. Hello there. Do you work here?
Yes, I do.
Yes, we do need help. Thanks for asking. We are the band who are playing here this evening. What is the plan?
Are you sure there is live music tonight?
Well, I ruddy hope so. If not, my bandmate has yet again stitched me up, as well as himself. So, who is in charge?
I am the only person working here tonight.
Well, at least we know, therefore it will not be busy tonight. Great. Where is the stage, and we'll start to set up?
Well, whenever someone has played an acoustic guitar, they have been sitting here, so you can play in this area.
Oh my guff heck of frig. You may actually notice there are tables and sofas in the way, not to mention just being a woeful position for music.
I'm afraid you'll have to move the table and sofas out of the way then.
Well, as I'm a musician and I want to play, I will do this manual labor in addition to the hour's drive. I also assume we are not getting paid for this gig.
That is correct.
At least you're holding up your end of the bargain. Well, let's get to work, guys. These sofas look like the heaviest sofas we will ever lift in our lives.
I'll leave you to it, and I'll make sure that if you need anything, I will be impossible to find.
Many thanks for following standard protocol. Great job, guys. It only took an hour and I think I've got a hernia. But I'm sure it will all be totally worth it and not a gig we should have declined. Just the person I was looking for. So, where is the PA? Is it quite heavy to lift? And also, how many channels does your mixer have?
We don't have a PA here.
Ha 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 ha. That was a fantastically great joke. Wasn't it? Or should I say, it better have been.
No, what you see is what we have.
That, I'm afraid, is sweet guffaw. Well, what do you usually do on live music nights then?
Jacob usually does all the band stuff. He's not here today, but I have his number if you want to talk to him.
That might be an idea. At least every last detail of this gig has been meticulously planned by the venue, otherwise we could all look like absolute total amateurs. Hello Jacob, I'm Phil from the band that are playing at your pub tonight. Where is the PA? And the mixer? For the gig? Okay, so it's in your car. And you are in your car at the moment. And you're 5 hours drive away. Do you think this may be an issue? Considering we're playing in 45 minutes, you didn't realize what the time was? Oh well, that is a very acceptable excuse. I mean, how could anyone ever have foreseen these unlikely turn of events? Unbelievable. So here is the situation. The PA is 5 hours away. We have 45 minutes until we start. So this venue has quite truly rogered our collective bums in the guff.
Oh dear. I can't help feeling partially responsible for us being in this position.
Yes, I wonder why that is.
Just so you know, your friends and family are also just starting to arrive. They must have made the hour-long drive to support you.
Oh. Great. Well, as ridiculous as this sounds, I have purchased my own PA, so that if a music venue is retarded enough to not have any equipment, I have everything. It just so happens it's in my sister's boyfriend's van, who should be here shortly. So, it seems that you as a collective venue won't have egg on your face. You jammy dodgers.
I don't understand.
Oh, just that to the innocent onlooker, you'll look like you have a great PA system and are a great live music venue, when in fact you are actually a total load of rubbish guff venue. With no idea, and couldn't organize a piss-up in a brewery. Present location accepted. No offense.
None taken.
You are seriously mentally vacant. I'm going to slag off this pub to my family now. Bye.
And there we have it. That was one of my real life stories, or Phil Toon, as they're now referred to as. Let's jump into the Phil Jam for tonight, and remembering to turn on the microphone that goes to the guitar, grabbing the Strat. Oh, let's get that organised there, and we're going clean for tonight, apparently, whatever's gonna happen. And I don't know whether I'll be able to do a wah-wah pedal or not, because I'd need to stand up. Right, chair is up, I do believe. I feel like I've forgotten to do something. What have I? Well, I've got to get the backing track, that'll be part of it. So this is number 63. Let's click on that. And let's mute the advert so we don't have to listen to this. There's an advert that... There are so many of these on YouTube that are all about, you know, do 100 press-ups a day and, you know, this is the body that you get. And it's always drawings of bodies. There'll be a drawing of somebody who's overweight, and then the next drawing will be some guy who's literally almost like bodybuilder level or competitive bodybuilding in terms of having like a body fat percentage of maybe 4 to 5%. And it's not the kind of body you can attain by just doing press-ups. You need to literally be doing things every day, not only in the gym, but with your diet to make sure that you don't take on any excess fat. It's not just doing press-ups. So yeah, with my background in sport and exercise science and fitness, it's the kind of thing that does annoy me because You might have these people that are doing 100 press-ups a day thinking they're going to get shredded abs, and they're not even using their stomach. All they're doing is press-ups, which means you're going to develop your triceps and your chest. That's it. You're not going to get shredded abs. You'll still have a bit of a beer belly, but you'd have now defined triceps, and they won't be huge because you've got to take on, you know, what, about 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And I mean, this is all up for debate, how much protein you should take in, but I tended to, when I was taking on, I think it was about 1.5 grams per pound of my body weight when I was kind of training properly. But anyway, let's get back into this. We have a G minor smooth jazz Benson style backing track, and this is from Chus Music, and that's CHUSSS, and then music with a capital M. So that's where you can go to grab this, and we're going to skip that ad. Caught it with 4 seconds to spare. Right, let's click on that. As for the levels, let's unmute it as well. Let's see what's going on for Phil Jam number 63. Check that I can actually hear this. Yep. Zoom! I don't know how long this backing track goes on for. Zoom. Oh, wrong way. Zoom out. Right. And 6 minutes 15. You have to get on with it. Barbara says sounds good. So you might just kind of keep going with it. See what happens. bit of a kind of breakdown thing. Oh, I can't get the weight. Ugh. I think we're on. I think it's done it. It looks like something's changed. There's nothing handy there. Got to be the ending now. Yeah, it was. And there we have it. It sounded like it was going to end about kind of 3 times there, and it didn't quite, and then they had another bar, and they didn't quite, and had another bar. So anyway, yeah, that's why I was just holding on. Holding on the G endlessly at the end. So there we have it. That was the Phil Jam for tonight. A little bit of G minor smooth jazz, Benson style backing track. So thank you, Joe, for linking me to that one and sending me the backing tracks in the first place. And this is from Chus Music, Chuss Music with a capital M. So you guys can check it out if you want to. So that was the Phil Jam for tonight. Clean tone, little bit of wah-wah, and just about remembered to turn it on. But this is the thing that... the other thing, I think I'm probably the opposite to most people, is that when I don't work out, I lose weight. I need to work out to put on muscle to put on weight. So it means that, yeah, I mean, that it does need a lot of weight to turn this wah-wah pedal on. It is a bit ridiculous, but yeah... When I get back to working out, it should be easier to turn that on and off. So anyway, I'm just going to have to live with it. We are going to be back with another video tomorrow night, of course, so look out for that one. Live streaming on Saturday night as always. So look out for that again, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time, as always. So, oh, by the way, thank you, Jennifer, for this donation of $10. And the message is, Phil, your guitar reminds me of an old joke. Why don't guitar players like bicycles? Because they only have 2 pedals. Bye. So thank you for that, Jennifer. And yeah, I don't have... yeah, I quite like bicycles, so I don't have loads of pedals. So, but thank you for that. And There's another donation that has come in over on PayPal. And this is Janice, who has donated £22.76. So thank you for that, Janice. And the message is, hey Phil, when you're not in front of a camera, do you use the same phrases as your Phil Toon self? So thank you for that. And quick answer to this, probably, but not regularly. But it's something that I think where most people swear, because when I was growing up, swearing wasn't allowed at all. And I just invented other words in order to have the same kind of effect or as swearing, but without actually swearing, just to get around this. It's almost like a hack to work around a particular problem, so that I started using guff and proverbials and all that kind of stuff. So it's just something that I started inventing, because I think I'd probably rather say that anyway, because it's kind of a bit funnier than just swearing. Because swearing doesn't take any imagination, but coming up with words that have the same kind of impact as swear words, but they aren't actually swear words, they're absolutely fine and totally inoffensive, is a challenge in itself. So that's I enjoyed the challenge. So I don't tend to swear. I tend to default to these silly words of like I said, like in the Phil Toons. But anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight. We are, like I said, back on Saturday, another live stream, but I'm here tomorrow night for that video. So all that is left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!